I'm going to cut that out. It was perfectly good curving. Why wouldn't I drink some of that?
I'm Linda, by the way.
I'm John. So why were you supporting Steve? So I actually told this when I've seen many different I think there's so many times.
All right. If I could have your all's attention, please. All right. There are some chairs up front if any of you want to sit. If we got a few, plus gather around. It's a fairly short program, but a very important program and some exciting news tonight. And we're so excited that you're here to share it with us. The three judge executives, as we normally do, we are one. We are one region. We collaborate, work together, and we're going to do that with our role here tonight as well. So on behalf of the three counties, Boone, Kent, and Campbell, the judge executives, Triad, our efforts with what's going on with entrepreneurship, we're so excited you're here. You know, back in the spring when there was a lot of assessment and evaluation going on about the entrepreneurial efforts that are happening here in the region, quickly it moved to a committee and a plan of work. Judge Knopfman is going to speak to that in a moment. But we are so excited that it has culminated with us being here tonight with the other partners. You know, the private sector, as we're working on the new Triad, what the next 30 years are going to look like, we know that that's got to involve much more than what we've been in the last 30 years. We know that it's about entrepreneurship. It's about more private sector involvement. It's more about teamwork. Our partners that are here tonight from the state, it's about us working with you. And we're so excited you're here, and I know we're going to hear more about that in just a moment. So thank you for being here. I'm going to turn it over to Judge Knockelman to talk about the committee that he has served on and his work with entrepreneurship.
Thank you, Gary. And really, I guess if there's one message I want to pass on as the representative who was helping to serve on the Entrepreneurship Council under the leadership of Norm Damaris, is that I want to just tell you how fortunate we have to remind ourselves we are in Northern Kentucky, in this great state right now. What an opportunity to cooperate together, to look at innovation, to look at entrepreneurship, to look at what economic development can be in 2018. And one of the things that I wanted to say, how proud I was, and I'm proud to be part of this group starting off and kicking this off. The amount of effort of Casey, of Tom, of Norm, and all the partners that came together and said, you know, we're going to put the past behind us, look at the future, figure out how we can paint this picture of innovation in this part of economic development. And I think that we want to say how grateful we are to the state, the leadership of Governor Bevin and his team to really look at this in a new way, partner with the exciting things happening in Northern Kentucky, and letting us help be a part of the great growth of this region, this Commonwealth as we move forward. It wouldn't happen if we didn't come to the table with a mindset of cooperation. So great to be a part of this. Great to celebrate with us tonight, and thanks for putting up with mind nudging as well on this endeavor. So with that, Judge Penner.
Okay. I'm gonna introduce Norm Damaris. But first, I'm going to tell you we're each supplied with a very brief set of comments, and I'm going to follow suit with the other two and go way off topic and out of bounds. Okay. Well, how many ways can you say that Norm is a great guy? And he does have an incredible list of qualifications. Everybody knows about Tier 1 Performance Solutions. Did you know that was one of the old E-Zone companies, maybe back in 2001? And you turn around a couple of times and suddenly it's a 250-person organization, and there's a founding partner. So there's a lot to talk about in his business career, which we're going to lightly skip over now that I got it started. And next we want to talk about the wonderful things that he's done for the community. If you know about Northern Kentucky University's Board of Directors, you know that Norm's on that. He's on the foundation board at Gateway Community and Technical College, and does a lot of good things, including chairing the Entrepreneurship Council that we alluded to here a minute ago. So without further ado, when we talk about exciting things, we for once aren't exaggerating, and Norm is here to share.
Well, good afternoon, and those are very humbling and kind words, but nonetheless, it's been a great adventure here, and I'm really excited about the future of Northern Kentucky. First, I wanted to say to everyone, thank you for attending this evening. It's great to see you. It's great to see everybody and your dedication to the success of our future. In reality, it's the next 20 or 30 years. So the other part of it is actually, I'm a little quirky sometimes, and those of you know me, this is fun. We've got a great celebration tonight, and you're going to find out a little bit more about it. So ultimately, this is more of a party to me, and it's a culmination, again, a lot of hard work. Go back to where we started about 18 years ago. 3 or 4 individuals sat around and said, hey, we need to have an accelerator here in Northern Kentucky, and they named it the Madison E-Zone. It's over here in 6th and Madison. I was fortunate enough to be part of that. But that model that was followed for economic development, innovation in the state of Kentucky, ran its course. It's roughly 18 years old, and so it was very well suited for what it did, but as like anything else, after 18 years old, then you have 18-year-old children, they kind of get rambunctious. And so it's lost its way a little bit, and it's time to put a new model in place. And so ultimately, that's what we're here to talk about, is this new model. And I'll go back and Judge Knockelman, about 2 years ago, you said, we need to do something a little different here in these counties, and of course, the 2 judge executives you guys are great teammates, and said, we're going to look at the next 30 years. And so lo and behold, they said, Norm, what the heck are you doing? I said, I'm busy. I've never been. They said, it doesn't matter, come join us. So we want to look at what's going to happen here for the next 30 years. And basically what the judges just mentioned is a term called agglomeration. It's an economic theory which basically says this. You want to Dr. Sheets, did you hear? I just said an economic theory. See that? So I'm really impressed. So basically, that is, in essence, you want to coordinate in or combine your regional assets and strengths into something that drives productivity and innovation. So what you heard the judges mention is exactly that. That's a new model here. That is a model of ecosystem development around the world. So rather than focusing on 20 different things, what are the strengths of this region? What do we have the right to own? What do we have the right to win? And so we went through this process and determined where are these assets aggregated within our community. We've got some great assets, okay? We've got a phenomenal airport. We've got a great logistics and supply chain and warehousing set of assets. We've got a $100 million investment in this thing called the College of Informatics at a phenomenal university with a great new leader. And so we've got those assets. We have a health innovation center, another 100-something million with our partner, St. Elizabeth. So we've got great assets there. So if you think about those things, wow, you're going to have a lot of folks coming together. And what happens with these, when people come together, they share ideas, there's some knowledge transfer, what have you, and next thing you know, they come up with innovative ideas. Then that brings in investors who want to invest in those ideas. That hires more people, and the cycle goes on and on. I call that a self-linking ice cream cone. So with that said, we're also not going to leave anyone behind, right? There's no entrepreneur left behind here. We love entrepreneurs. I'm an entrepreneur. I've been doing this since I was 27, right? My wife Lisa will attest to that. It's been a lot of fun, huh, honey? But so we're also going to support all entrepreneurs, whether you're involved with one of those clusters that I mentioned or not. We will have a support network for you, unlike anything you have ever seen in the last 20 years in this part of the country. So we're excited about that. If you want to be a retailer, you want to create a bar, a restaurant, you want to be an individual consultant, I don't care what it is, we will help you. We'll help you be successful. So with that said, hold the model. And so the other part of this model was, well, wait a minute, how are we going to execute this new model? We looked around and we said, wow, we've got some phenomenal organizations already doing these things for us, right? We've got a university. We've got a couple of different things at the university, Small Business Development Center. We've got a Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. We've got AVHR, women focused. We've got Square One, Keith, and your job and what you guys are doing. We've got the Kentucky Innovation Network. We've got UpTech. And there's probably 20, the Cincinnati region, I think they're about 35 or 20. But nonetheless, we said, we've got to bring these folks together. And let us bring these teams together, and then we can execute this new model. And so, as Judge Nachman pointed out, these guys, hey, we all came together and said, we've got to do this as a team, and so we did that. Okay? And I want to applaud each and every one of you for taking that risk with us, because we're helping to do it. So thank you for that. And so, after I'm going to do this morning speaking stuff, actually you will be, each one of them will come up here and show a little bit about what their program does, and I believe they also have an entrepreneur to give them a nice example about the type of things that they're doing. Okay, so now as a business guy or an entrepreneur, I'm thinking, okay, we've got a new model, which by the way is being deployed around the globe, and so it's not just here, around the globe. I was in Tampa yesterday, and they actually had their state of their annual meeting on the state of their ecosystem. They're running the same model that I just talked about. Of course, there's some derivation between what they would do at an organization or community size of Tampa versus what we would do, but nonetheless, they've been doing this for 4 years. So we've got a little catching up to do, right? But we can learn from these folks. So the next piece you need in order to execute anything is something called oxygen, also known as cash capital. So how are we going to fund this darn thing? And so we're just thinking about, okay, well, we've got to get some funding in place and figure out, okay, where's it going to come from? That door just open? Okay. Oh, did I hear something?
I just got this certified package from Federal Express that says Mr. Norm Damaris.
Let me see that.
So, I don't know what it's about.
What are the odds of it? What's this? Really Christmas for us here. It's folded way too many times. Dear Chair Desmarais, this is notice from the Commonwealth of Kentucky's Governor's Office that the Tri-State The Tri-County Economic Development Corporation's Northern Kentucky Entrepreneurship Council has been awarded the RISE grant for the Northern Kentucky region. This grant's for $750,000. Ladies and gentlemen, in 25 years I've been in Kentucky, we don't usually get this much money coming north. Wow, I just had a moment. Any of you remember Blazing Saddles when Candy Graham for Mondo, Candy Graham for Mondo? That's just happened to me. So, not only is it $750,000, also the hard work of everyone in this room and others. We've also got matching $750,000. Actually, we've got a matching $650,000. We need $100,000. Those of you, I see some bankers and folks. In case you're checking it out. But basically, this is a $1.5 million award for us here. It's going to have a significant impact. This is going to go on for roughly 3 years. So we've got an opportunity to set this ship afloat in a certain direction, get some wind out of sails, and again, really change the way we do what we do here in Northern Kentucky, all the way on down through our high schools and our students as well. So with that said, I'm just tickled pink. My God, the government just gave us $750,000. It's a great time, and I'd like to use this opportunity actually to introduce a member from the state of Kentucky, Brian Medford, who is the head of our Kentucky Innovation area. And so Brian's going to say a few words, and I think you knew something about this, Brian.
I may have, yeah. Thank you, Norm, and judges, thank you guys. Thanks everybody for being here. What a great night, what a great opportunity for us all to come together and celebrate. I want to recognize a couple of my team members who are here, Jason Rainey and David Brock, standing over here against the wall. If you haven't been able to meet them, just really appreciate. I want to not try my best to not be redundant to what's already been said. Norm said several things very well that I planned to say, and the judges did as well. That there's some politicians said once, everything's been said, I just haven't said it yet. I'll resist that urge. I will tell you that as we started looking at reimagining, or as we began reimagining the strategy for supporting how the state can support regional innovation and entrepreneurship, I mean, one thing was clear. Well, first, there was great activity and great outcomes happening here in this region, particularly. The other thing was clear was that we had been taking historically as a state sort of a one-size-fits-all approach to supporting our regional entrepreneurship. And so we said, let's not be so presumptuous. Well, one, let's just acknowledge that every region is very unique and different. And let's not be presumptuous and pretend that, we're Frankfurt and we know best, and so we're going to tell each region, what's expected and how we're going to measure it and how much you're going to get paid. And so literally, we were paying, the state was providing these grants regionally, same dollar amounts, same expectations, same metrics, and so forth. And so, as we started letting people know we were gonna mix that up a bit, disrupt that approach, there was a bit of hand-wringing, and we said, settle down, calm down. Our point, our intent here is to not be restrictive and prescriptive, but rather we want to know, as Norm was saying, we want to hear from the region what makes the most sense from your perspective. How can the state best support your advantages, your opportunities? How can we circle around your assets and double down and invest in the good things that are happening in your region? And that's going to be different from region to region. And so, the amount of funding that was announced tonight via FedEx Courier, that's roughly a 5-fold increase in what the state has historically injected in entrepreneurship in this region. Nearly a 5-fold increase. And when you then double that with the match that all the partners in the room have so generously committed, then it's more than a 5-fold increase. And it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop just at the regional borders. And in fact, we've also been specific in saying we've got to get beyond, and we will get beyond this sort of parochial. This is a county by county. You go to a certain office if you're an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs in the room could care less where the services and support is coming from, honestly, that they have to have, that they need. And so we want a network effect, and we have created this network effect across the state so that these network regional offices are well integrated with one another. And so, frankly, if there's an ag tech need that may be specific coming out of this region, that an entrepreneur needs a certain resource that's in Western Kentucky or it's in Lexington, then these groups will be connected together to provide that kind of support, just in time support as entrepreneurs need and expect. And so it doesn't stop with the region, because this is a statewide effort. We have announced most of the regional efforts to date. We have a couple more, one more coming up in a couple weeks. But in total, this is about an annual $5 million commitment that the state's making to entrepreneurs. Again, you double that because we require this match, and so this is an exponential increase in how the state is supporting entrepreneurship. We're proud, we're pleased to be able to do that, and most importantly, we have prioritized entrepreneurs themselves in this mix. So we did set the expectation that these efforts are to be entrepreneurial-led and guided, because we want them to be most relevant to those that we're intending to serve. And so we appreciate Norm stepping in and spending so much time, and all those others who have gathered around. We just can't thank you enough for your time. We look forward to continuing to work with you and to all the great things that are ahead for this region. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Brother. And I'll tell you, it's been a delight for me in the last several months working with your office and your folks. It's just been, they're manned, if you will, or actually staffed by entrepreneurs. You guys have all basically figured, how to make a payroll one day. That's critically important. So the other thing you mentioned in the word connectivity, you're going to hear a lot about connectivity in the coming years from us. That is probably the single most important thing we need to do, is to connect to each other and connect to others, and that will help us achieve our goals. So with that said, we want to spend a few more moments here in the next few minutes, and we want to introduce you to some of our partners. These are the phenomenal people that actually are part of our team that's going to help us execute this. And so I want to start off with one of our newest and latest and greatest here, our new president of Northern Kentucky University, Dr. Ashish Vidya.
Thank you, Norm. So I just want to make sure I'm not the one standing between all these people and the bourbon, right? Is that I'm figuring out the Kentucky ways. I want to make sure. Get out of the way of the bourbon. That's a good sign. So good evening. So let me first start off, and there was nice drama there, but thank you so much and congratulations to frankly this whole region. We really should be patting ourselves on the back for accomplishing something unique. I think I've heard it somewhere before, but I'm going to say it today. Everyone talks about disruption and innovation and so on and so forth. And I truly believe that, frankly, the next wave of disruption is through collaboration. In fact, collaboration is the new disruption. If we want to make these things happen, it's not going to be in a vacuum, it's not going to be something. And that's something that I've certainly believed in for a long time, which is one of the reasons why I was so excited to join the team here at NKU and have the honor and privilege of being the 6th president of Northern Kentucky University. So I'm so glad we are partners. I just wanted to add that Northern Kentucky University takes its role in economic engagement very seriously. This has been something that it has done in its young history, and I certainly am very excited about continuing that trajectory going forward. We certainly understand the value of a regional ecosystem and the role that educational institutions play with that, right? You need good health, you need good education, and you need good community vibrancy, and you have a prosperous ecosystem. And so our role as the university is to be part of that facilitation. We do it, we have done it effectively. Norm gave you a bunch of examples. I just want to add one that's more recent, and that is the fact that NKU will now be the host of the Governor's School of Entrepreneurs, effective starting summer. So I'm just so pleased to do that. What I can say without a doubt, apart from all the great examples you've already given about NKU's trajectory, this is the region that has embraced NKU and vice versa. This is a symbiotic relationship. The region prospers, the university prospers along with it, and vice versa. You can't have a great region without a great university. You can't have a great university without a great region. And I think that's the message that I want to make sure that our region understands. And I'm I'm so delighted and privileged to be part of this story and how it unfolds. Our job is to develop and nurture talent, to foster innovation, and to be good stewards of place. And so with that, as part of the regional system, I just think we're at the cusp of something truly remarkable. And getting some extra help from Frankfurt is always great. I tell my friends in California, I go to Frankfurt every month, they're like, wow. I'm like, well, it's not that Frankfurt, it's a different Frankfurt. But if we get this kind of support, I'm there every week. So. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. You know, I just looked at my phone here, and we're 7 minutes ahead of schedule. So, you guys want to hear any stories about anybody in the room? Just kidding. Those words are well spoken, and these partnerships are critically important for all of us. So, with that said, we actually are 7 minutes ahead of schedule, but we'll fill the time. The next several minutes, we're actually going to call this the lightning round, right? And so, as I mentioned earlier, we want to showcase and highlight the partners that are contributing to the success of what we're doing. And in turn, they're going to showcase an entrepreneur or two to tell us what they're up to. So, after this lightning round is done, we will conclude. And at that point, please stick around and talk with these young entrepreneurs and get their opinions and see what they've got to say. And ask them some questions and see how you potentially can contribute. So, with that said, our first lightning round participant is going to be Zach Strobel, Northern Kentucky University, part of Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. So, Zach, you're on stage.
How's everybody doing? Great. Awesome. So I'm Zach Strobel. I'm the co-director of the Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship at Northern Kentucky University. I'm also a proud alum of NKY as well. And so one of our programs is called the Incubator. It's an award-winning business accelerator that's open for 12 weeks during the summer. And we open up to NKY students and alumni from all across campus. And I'm here tonight to talk to you guys later if you have any questions about that. But I'm going to turn it over to Aaron Wickman. So he just graduated from the Incubator program, and he is getting ready to graduate from NKY pretty soon here as well.
Thank you, everyone. My name is Aaron Wickman, and I am the founder of Bundle. And Bundle is a crowdsourced peer-to-peer delivery platform. And what that means is you want to sell something on Facebook Marketplace, but you can't make your schedule work with the buyer, or maybe you feel like you don't want to get murdered. Bundle is happy to be that middleman to bring that item from delivery to pickup. And we'll actually insure the item as well to make sure it gets there. So hang out with me tonight. Let's chit chat. Let's talk about Bundle.
Thank you guys, and again, not to do another commercial for the university of which I'm on the Board of Regents, but the Incubator is going by NKY, and so the programs actually are nationally recognized and some of the best programs in around entrepreneurship in the country, and so that says a lot for our university. So with that said, our next lightning round participant is Nancy Eichholz from Aviatra.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Nancy Eichholz. I'm the president and CEO of Aviatra Accelerators. We empower female entrepreneurs from idea to exit and everything in between. We are proud to boast that as of today, with some news we can't really share, we are well over 200 million in revenue for just a small number of our graduates. We have actually served over 1,700 women and created over 6,000 jobs. And I noticed that I have several of my board members here, so I'd love if you would just at least raise your hands, because I'd love for you to talk to them this evening. But I also want to introduce a very special couple of aviatras, a mother-daughter team who actually came through our program twice, and they'll tell their story. They're here in Northern Kentucky. Allie's Walkabout, Mary and Allie Clay. Hi, obviously I'm the mom. Or sister. Whatever you want to call it. It's good. We started Allie's Walkabout about 10 years ago in our home. Allie was 9 years old, and it was a life lesson
It's been a fun ride. We've been in a commercial space for 3 years now. We have grown so greatly. I'll let Allie tell a little bit more.
So one thing Nancy asked us to do is kind of give you guys like a little idea of how Aviator helped us grow our business. And one of the things that came to mind for me was a quote that I heard the other day, and that was, fortune favors the bold. And that's one thing that Aviator definitely helped, I know, me and my mom, but also bring to our business was boldness. And how can we be a trendsetter, especially in the pet service? You know, that's something that not a lot of people have already done. So we're here for it, and we are very excited to start off in Northern Kentucky because we have been supported so well. But I know that one thing that my mom has also mentioned, and we have had our battles with this in the past, and the ways that we do want support from other leaders in the Northern Kentucky business to help us with just, you know, what's the word?
It's the skills that other entrepreneurs have, you know, that exchange of information. One of our core values is learning is greater than knowing. We want to be lifelong learners, and that's why we went through the program twice, because we gleaned so much. We gleaned so much information, and the network that is involved in that. I mean, Rebecca Volpe at the Small Business Development has been an invaluable resource, just incredible. And then the Aviatra team and the people that we've met there, the relationships that we gained from that have been incredible for us. But we are the premier doggy daycare, off-leash play, boarding, and grooming facility in Northern Kentucky.
I just got chills just listening to that story. The authenticity, did you see what they're saying? I mean, being an entrepreneur is not easy. It really isn't. And that journey is a long, long journey, but if you take a look and you can see and feel the dedication from these two young ladies, it's been fantastic. And by the way, we've got a little dog at home, and we'd love to have you guys take care of him. How's that? And so, you know, one more thing, as a father of 3 daughters, yes, 3 daughters, what Aviator is doing is just incredible. It's not just teaching the basics of entrepreneurship and the education level, it's the support network that you guys put together, which is one of the best I've ever seen. So we're great. We're glad to have you guys as partners as part of our journey here. And for the rest of the state of Kentucky, here it's loud, here it's clear. If you are a female entrepreneur, you can come to Northern Kentucky and we will support you, unlike any other part of the state will do. So we're really pleased about that. So with that said, our next lightning round is Keith Snyder from Square One.
Thanks, Norm. Hello, everyone. I have a unique history here. I actually, a decade ago, I worked for Triad here at the E-Zone with Casey. I left there and came here next door, actually, built out this incubator and got a grant before I left for the space that we're standing in. So, and then I left that and started Square One to kind of do my own thing in entrepreneurial support. And so here we are, I guess, 6 years into it. And we're running 3 programs. One is, I was actually at, before I came here, we go into high schools, we teach entrepreneurship and have a competition, which will be April 2nd, and Samey as a host for that out at their education and training facility. We do that. We have an Ignition program, Ignition, and for that we take idea stage companies, we help them think through the idea before they go and start spending a lot of money. And we actually, within the last year, added a new piece to that where we help them build technology for the business. So we've got a developer that does it, and we've got, I think now our 3rd prototype MVP that's about to launch within the next couple weeks. The second program is, or 3rd program really, is called Velocity. And that program is really focused on helping companies with growth and really putting a sales spin on what they're doing and teaching them how to talk to clients and things like that. And so I'd like to introduce Vincent Williams, who was our first, in the first class of Velocity, and he's since become a board member for Square One and joined the Entrepreneurship Council here to help lead this effort.
Hi everybody, my name is Vincent Williams. I'm a co-founder with Orchestrate Technologies. And what we do is we provide easy to use, simple to administer, cloud-based collaborative technology solutions to businesses across the country, businesses of all sizes. Since going through the Velocity program with Square One, we've grown to have clients in over 47 states in 4 different countries at this point, and we're looking to continue that growth in the years to come. So very, very grateful for Square One and very, very excited about the future and what the future holds for us. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. You know, Keith's got a long history in entrepreneurship, as he mentioned. You know, you're not that old, my gosh. But what this illustrates to me, if you just saw Nature and you're going to see a couple of those, is there are lots of different organizations that support entrepreneurs. And so this is not one size fits all. And actually, the diversity we have of these entrepreneurial programs is critical for us. What we need to do a better job here in the region is have a front door in which we can identify and meet with the entrepreneur and figure out which one of these avenues and channels best suits them for the type of business they want to be in. So again, if you want to talk about the power of a collaboration, this partnership, this is incredible. We have a great partnership. We've got a lot of coverage across all the different entrepreneurial types here to help support them in any of the endeavors that they want. So thank you for that, Keith. Our next lightning round individual is JB Woodruff from Uptech. JB?
Good evening. My name is JB Woodruff. I'm the managing director of Uptech. Before I get started, why don't you guys come on in? I know it's cold back there. I know you can't see much. Come on, move on in. All right, great. So with Uptech, we've been running for the last 7 years, and what we are all about is making B2B data-driven startups investable. And we do that through a dedicated program that runs 5 months annually, and we invest up to $50,000 to enable startups from all around the world to do that. So they come from all over the world to be here, located in Northern Kentucky, to build their businesses into the next greatest thing. And in order to really drive that, we have a pool of mentors that provide great expertise, and that's what our community is all about. We give them capital, which is $50,000, up to $50,000 investing in each startup. And then we provide them with dedicated education so that they are ready to approach their customers and investors at the same time to build sustainable, investable businesses. But enough about Uptech. I would like to invite one of our cohort participants, Vivek with Weave, currently going through our 7th cohort at Uptech.
Hey everyone, it's great to be here, and it's a really exciting time to be in Northern Kentucky. My name is Vivek, I'm the CEO of Weave, and we give businesses a better way to understand and to act on employee feedback. The average cost to replace an employee that makes $100K is about $213,000. This kind of turnover is becoming more and more common. They're changing technologies, a younger, more millennial workforce, and there's just less loyalty between employees and companies. All in all, this means that turnover today is the highest that it's been in 10 years. My co-founders and I, we're all ex-Deloitte consultants, and we didn't quit our jobs, we quit our boss. We're not alone. 75% of people that quit leave because they have issues with their boss. Their bosses aren't being responsive to their needs. It's not that bosses want their employees to be miserable, they're trying, but their tools are just letting them down. Every feedback tool that's out there right now is a survey, and surveys suck. Employees hate taking them, so they don't. There's an average 30% response rate. When an employee submits a survey, it disappears into the void. They have no idea if someone's reading it, if something's being done about it, and so they feel like not taking a survey the next time around. And most importantly, surveys ignore the elephant in the room. People just don't think about work on a 1 through 5 scale, so they miss really critical insight. Together, this means that employees feel like their voice is not being heard. So we built Kim, an AI chatbot that gives a voice to employees. Employees like talking to Kim because it feels like chatting with a coworker or a friend. And surprisingly, what we found in our pilots is that everyone wants to talk about the workplace issues, they just need the right outlet. And the combination of anonymity and empathy that Kim has gets really meaningful insights. So we analyze those conversations using tone and sentiment analysis. And we're able to get cultural trends that happen on a company level, as well as bubble up really critical feedback directly to managers to act on. But it is not just a tool, we're a process that changes the way that organizations work. The current process, the current issue to action life cycle for a survey is about 1.5 years. So there's a long period of time where employees' voices are not being heard, let alone issues being addressed. That gives you opportunity for turnover. We take that 1.5 years, we collapse it down to about 2 weeks. Every other week, our bot reaches out to employees, gets their feedback, we analyze it, escalate it to managers, and we broadcast out to the full team, letting them know, hey, something's been done about this. And that creates a cycle where employees know that their voice is being heard, and managers have a way to respond to workplace issues. We are we. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and gosh, and again, these things, think of the type of technology and innovations you're hearing about today. That's pretty incredible stuff. I mean, this is some significant workforce issues that we're all challenging across the entire globe today. And these types of tools will certainly help all of us be better places. So with that said, we've got one more final lightning round person. But before Brent Cooper's in the house, our head of chamber of commerce. And so, we talked about the Madison E-Zone from 18 years ago. Brent was in there, and so were we. And we basically grew companies together over several years and have become very good friends. But Brent is another phenomenal resource for this community. And the chamber is one of our partners as well. I'm missing not adding them, but basically they're going to be partnering with us. This entire community is coming together, and I'm really pleased to see that. So with that said, Rebecca Volpage from our Small Business Development Center is our last contestant on the lightning round. So Rebecca, come on up.
I don't have any letters to turn up here. So my name is Rebecca Volpe. I run the Small Business Development Center at Northern Kentucky University. We're a national network that provides free services to entrepreneurs who are starting and growing businesses. The really great thing about being part of a national network is that we have C-suite tools available for free to companies that are starting and need to keep their capital in their operations. So we're able to help you with access to all kinds of really unique expertise and tools. I am proud that we are the leading SBDC in the state of Kentucky. And I say that very proudly because it means that our region is pretty awesome. And it means we have really great things going on. The reason why we're so awesome is because everybody in the room. You've heard from Nancy, you've heard from Triad, you've heard from our judge executives from Northern Kentucky University, Zach, Chamber of Commerce, Uptech, everyone. We all work together, Keith at Square One. Every single one of my clients, I've collaborated with every one of you to make everything better for our region, for our entrepreneurs. One thing that I'm really proud of also is that last year alone, we were able to help companies with 10 employees or less raise $18 million in capital. Wow. So congratulations. And I have to give a big thank you to the Cabinet for Economic Development and really appreciate your leadership and visionary. So I'm going to introduce Riley O'Grady, who is a client at the SBDC, and I'm very excited for you all to hear from her. Also, Riley is a graduate of ABH Accelerators, too.
Hello. So I'm the last one up, right? Ooh, very good contestant, right? All right. So my name is Riley O'Grady, and I'm the founder and CEO of Valiant. So I know that we've been talking a lot about workforce issues, and currently we know that 70% of the workforce is dissatisfied with their career. So they're not happy with what they're doing. Like it's been echoed in some of the similar speeches before, this might be because of a boss or something like that, but a lot of times people just don't understand what career direction is right for them. So my question is, why is it that we're still using 20th century tools and assessments to resolve this 21st century workforce epidemic? I mean, that doesn't really make much sense, right? So that's why at Valiant, we're completing our development on our innovative platform, which is technology forward
It's built for a 21st century workforce, and it utilizes a unique process to help get to the bottom of this most pressing problem. So I look forward to speaking with you all, and I'm so happy to wrap this up. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That was awesome. And so you're about 1 minute away from having some fun and collaborating with others. But I want to leave all of you with this. And this is an opportunity and a challenge. And never in the 25 years of my living in Kentucky have we had the alignment that we have today. We're aligned with the state. Our 3 judge executives are all aligned. Our university is aligned. All of our partners are aligned. The private sector here, all of you, support of us, are in alignment. Shame on us if we don't take advantage of this opportunity and become the best ecosystem in the entire state, and the best ecosystem in the entire country. So thank you for your time this afternoon and this evening. Great to have you on board. If you want to get engaged with us, please do. Check with Casey on the way out. We're looking for as much help as we can to help change the world, change the future, change our region. So thank you so much. Have a great evening.
There's darn pledge, you know. Thank you.
Well, I love that you come to that. I love that you come to that title. I got a